Okay, guys, gals, welcome to another speaker series. All right, here we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining the second or third to last of the Summit Series. We've had some amazing speakers on this entire time. And today, for those of you who don't know the gentleman we have on today, he's a former Rookie of the Year, top 1% agent at Royal LePage. He's part of the two-man advantage, top 1% agent in the Greater Vancouver board as well. Two-man advantage with partner. You see him everywhere in Maple Ridge. He's not only a big realtor, but he's had some major success in real estate in the past period. Not real estate, business in the past period. I'm sure mostly everybody here that's at least 30 years old has been drunk at one of his bars before. For those of you that don't know, he used to own or part own or run, I don't know, the whole genetics of Tommy's and all those other stuff. So if you've ever had a 99-cent highball, you can thank him for that. Next to that, he's been an amazing realtor, like I said. Thanks so much for joining us on the call today, Cass. I really appreciate it. Cass Macleod, thanks again, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sean. And thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me on, and I appreciate it. I thanked you on Facebook, but I'm happy to do that kind of in as person as we can right now in the new world.
That's it.
I was, as a lot of people know, I was in the bar and pub and restaurant, nightclub business before I got into real estate. My partner, Jeff Bright, we were buddies since we were 11 years old. We started playing hockey together, and I lived around the corner from him. So our parents were driving, like taking turns at the 6 a.m. early morning practices on Thursday mornings or whatever day it was when we were playing Pee Wee hockey. And when he turned 19, he became a realtor. We remained friends as I went into the bar business. And I mean, I did lots of different things, but I went to the bar business. And I think most people that get into real estate did something else first before they got into real estate. They were some other career or something else. There's some people that start directly into real estate, but I think most probably start as something else and move into it later. It seems like the bar business, it turns out some good realtors, and I'm not talking about myself, but in general. And I think it's that ability to kind of work with different people and some, work through things with people and different types of people. Anyway, Jeff was my realtor. Jeff Bright was my realtor for, I guess, 20 years while I was in the bar business. But he always told me, he's like, dude, you got to get into real estate. This is your calling. I know this will be great for you. And so I owe it to him for sure to get into this. And so, yeah, since that was, I started getting my license, I think in 2010 with Get Fred. I don't know if everybody knows Fred or whatever, but Fred Nwani, but what an awesome guy. Yeah.
Him too.
It's great. A lot of swearing. And, and then,
I learned how to do the amortization using kilos of cocaine, apparently. That was
that's right, yeah. And has F all to do with whatever, something else. Yeah. I never used that calculator after his course. It's funny. I took the test, and then that financial calculator, I never used it after that. I remember I was trying to figure something out one day. I pulled it out. It was completely dead. So put that in the garbage. So anyway, yeah, so I started in 2010, I started doing the course. 2011, I was still in the bar business and didn't push too hard to get that. In 2011, I did get it near the end of 2011. And then 2012, of course, I was the Rookie of the Year for the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. I don't remember how many deals I did, but I just know that I came from a business where I worked hard, and I got into a business where I needed to work even harder. And it's funny when you start in this business, because I don't think that people understand getting into real estate. A lot of people look at us from the outside as realtors, and they think, oh, it'll be easy. I watched Cass do it, and this was easy. And probably Sean, if you've probably had clients where, oh yeah, well, Sean just comes in here, nice suit, nice car, pulls up, does this, whatever. And then a house is sold and he makes a bunch of money. And the truth is there's a lot more work, a lot more behind the scenes that people don't know about it. And if you don't have a solid work ethic, you just will have a real tough time in this business. So anyway, I worked my butt off. I got 4 kids too, so I had a big inspiration to do well right away. And so I worked hard and door knocked and mail outs and, everything that I could to possibly grind out as many deals as I could that year, not necessarily for any kind of recognition or award or anything, just because I wanted to be the best. And that was kind of my my goal when I got into the business, and it's an ongoing goal, but I want to be, one of the best, most recognized realtors in my area. And I don't, they could always be better, right?
So let me ask you, so I'm just going to stop you and kind of take one step back. So
Sure.
you started real estate, it was 2012 that you did Rookie of the Year?
I started in the end of 2011, but I believe it's your first full year that it goes by. Yeah.
Okay, so and just because these calls and later down the line when it's on YouTube, it's usually like a mix of like really experienced agents and then agents that are brand spanking new. And I know there's quite a few of them on here as well. And there's only one Rookie of the Year every year, right? Out of how many thousands of agents that come on, right? If you don't mind telling us in a little bit more detail, like you said, you worked hard, and that's obvious. You cannot be Rookie of the Year without working your butt off, right? Now, did you, because I know instantly what a lot of people are going to say, and I know the truth behind it, and it's not necessarily what people think, but a lot of people are going to instantly say, I'm sure, oh, yeah, of course he killed it because he's had an awesome business before in the bar business and millions of people and all this other kind of stuff, right?
And you're right.
But
that's
usually,
what
yeah, that's
right.
What
and so that's where I was saying, kind of getting at that. Yeah. My business didn't come from where I thought it was going to come from. Mm-hmm. It didn't come from, it didn't start from a million people that I knew from the bar business that I let through by the line or whatever, VIP'd into the nightclub, that type of thing. Because the truth is when you start in real estate, and I did a bunch of talks after my first year with Josh Bath, actually got me in to do a bunch of talks with the real estate board, lots of different offices, and talking to new realtors about what it takes to become a realtor. And so I've kind of figured it, I think I've figured it out. If you make it 2 years into real estate after you start, then you've made it. But up until those 2 years, and me included, even being Rookie of the Year, I remember when I was Rookie of the Year, I was up on that stage accepting that award with Terry David Mulligan, actually from Good Rockin' Tonight. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember Terry David Mulligan, but he was the host of that year. And I was other than the lifetime members, the Rookie of the Year is the only other person that gets to say anything at that dinner. And so I prepared a few things, thanking especially my wife. I think a big part of real estate, your family and your wife, they put in a lot, and they are asked to be without you a lot. And you're the one thing about real estate that was different from the bar business for me was when my phone rang, I had to answer it. And when my phone rang, sometimes I had to go. When you have especially when you're a new realtor, you have an opportunity for a listing. You're not going to see them tomorrow. I'll see you in 5 minutes, sorry, hun, dinner's off now. I'm going to list a place. And you can't let those opportunities slip by, and those clients become your clients for life. So for my first year, I guess my first listings were kind of people that they weren't people that I expected to be. My own stepsister, I remember I saw her house come online, because the truth is, when you're a brand new realtor, what exactly do you know? I wasn't working with a partner at the time. My partnership started with Jeff a couple years into me being a realtor. And so very helpful, though, I got to say, having someone that you're working with that knows, that's been in the business. He at the time for 25 years, I think he'd been in the business since he was 19. Definitely helps when you have questions and things. It's like having a managing broker working with you the whole time. But we were working on our own separately, doing our own business. And the things that I really focused on was door knocking. Door knocking was a big one for me. Most of the clients that I got were neighbors, good friends that kind of got me started. And I told them when I started, I said, I owe you for life. And as long as I'm a realtor, I'm here for you in any of your real estate things. And the truth is if I treated every single client as though, and I do try, but if I treated them all like I treated the people that really gave me my start, and dropped things when they called, and for any of their family things or questions they had about real estate, you build a pretty good solid business by doing so. And so those few people gave me their breaks, and I remember writing my first deal and thinking, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I really, at the time, the rules weren't, this is only 10 years ago, the rules weren't as, and the training to become a realtor wasn't as strong as it is now. And I was writing deals and doing listings, and I wasn't prepared to do so, but I got through. I remember the first the first offer I sent to somebody, the other realtor on the other end. Thank God that there's great realtors out there that are, there's some that aren't great, as we all know, but there's some that are just great. And one of the first offers I sent in was, the guy called me back. He's like, did you mean to send in an offer with subjects, like subject to financing and inspection and whatnot? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you sent me a no subject offer right now. He said, right now, as far as I'm looking at this is a done deal. And I'm like, oh. And so this guy, I wish I could remember who it was. I'll try and track it down one day and find out, because this guy was like, resend the offer with your subjects or whatever. And I mean, you want to talk about cooperation, there's a story right there where, like the guy saved my ass on my first deal. Imagine going to the real estate council on your first deal. Whoa. But yeah, so I worked, I guess the things that I did the most was door knocking. and it's probably one of the hardest things to do. I got a little story about door knocking that I tell all new realtors. Every once in a while I'll get a call from somebody that heard that I was the rookie of the year and they're getting into real estate, and I'll go meet them for coffee. And I always tell them this story. I say, I went to this guy's house. This is just a couple blocks from my house. There's a townhouse complex. And I went in there and I opened it's okay. It's a nice little place. And I knock on the door, and the guy opens the door. He's got a bowl full of Kraft dinner with ketchup smeared all over it. And he's got, shirt on. And he looks at me and he's like, what? And I'm like, And I'm like, hey, I'm Cass Macleod. I just live down the road, and I'm just seeing if anyone's interested in buying or selling real estate in the area. And he's like, I'm having dinner. And he lifted his leg up and he pushed the door closed and slammed it on my face. And I'm not a kid, I'm like, I'm not the kind of guy that is just okay with. And I could feel him brewing up inside me, and I'm getting mad. And I'm like, and then I thought, that's the guy. That's the guy why most people aren't going to do what I'm doing today. And so thank you for being a dick. And now I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of realtors wanting to do this, because most people are scared to meet that guy. And if you can just put that aside and go out and knock on the doors, because 99% of the people that you knock on their door, they're nice. 99% of people are nice. Most people are nice. But every once in a while you run into that guy that's, isn't nice, and you're getting in their time, you're getting in their way, or they don't want to be disturbed by you. And that's the reason why most people don't do what I did and go door knock and hit their area.
And we have a couple questions that came up a little bit more on the specifics on that. When you first started, did you have like a daily routine that I would go door knock for 3 hours? Were you doing expires? Was it just community? Like what did you have a routine or some kind of specific, like I go 4 hours a day, or I hit 100 doors a day, or was there specifics, or you just went out and just did it?
No, I didn't really have specifics, because once again, I was, sometimes weather played into the factor. If it's raining hard, I shouldn't say that. If I had time, I did it. And I was trying to do things that would bring me business, and directly see that the business would come. So expireds, yes. Expireds were daily or weekly. I would do expired listings and go in and not, I gotta say, you gotta knock on their door. You can't just leave a flyer or whatever. I think the expired listings, that all might be ending soon anyway, with all the privacy and things like that. You're not going to know who it was. And I guess you can still knock on their door, but face to face, actually meeting the people, leaving a flyer is one thing, but actually meeting the people and talking to them is completely different. I would say your closing percentage of actually closing someone, of getting some sort of business from them, meeting them face to face and leaving a flyer, it's 100% different.
And I guess to that point too, especially like now that you have established brand in Maple Ridge in the area, I'm sure if you flyer, you're probably going to get a little bit more recognition or more back, right? But at the beginning, I'm sure they don't know who Cass is, right? So the face-to-face door knocking probably made a big difference at that time as well, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, some people know you. Even the people that sometimes when you first start to know you, that you think you're going to get, as I said, you don't get them because they know you don't know anything. When you first start, you don't really know anything. And this is a business now. I've been doing it 10 years. I've learned stuff this week about doing the business, and I'll learn constantly. And it's an evolving, changing market. When I was in the different businesses, I used to have, I could do a graph and tell you what the third week of December is going to be like. I could tell you when it's Peach Fest, the business was going to be low. It's the same every year. I tried doing the same thing when I started in real estate with, graphs, and okay, this December was really good. I've had Decembers where I did one deal. I've had Decembers where I did 12 deals. You never know. So the thing about this business is you got to be, you've got to continually work hard. No matter if you let your foot off the gas, you will still do well for a while, but then it'll start to peel off, and then you got to get on the gas again. I think it's better to set yourself up on a plan where you constantly do a certain set of marketing. And when you get more established, as you get a few more years in the business, then you can afford to start doing some more marketing that doesn't take your actual hands-on time, with bus benches and advertising, and I've seen radio and all different things. So there's different things that you can do when you have money, but when you're first starting out, you got to just go get it and work hard. And I think the person that knocks on the most doors wins, really, in real estate.
So to talk about that, if we could talk about, because right now you're saying that you're still working hard and consistently, what does your day look like right now? So that's one of the things we've been kind of asking a lot of these top performers is, do you have a morning ritual? Do you have like daily routines that you do? Right now, are you at the point that all your business is somebody calling you, or are you still going after it?
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of insight on your day-to-day
Sure.
activity.
Well, I wake up, because I got a 5-year-old, Lola. I wake up at between 5:30 to 7:30 at the latest every morning. And so the first thing I do now, and this has changed. I haven't had this routine for long. I think this has been 1 year I've been doing this now. I'm trying to, as everyone, I think, trying to get healthier. And so I wake up in the morning and I go for a hike. So, and I'm lucky that I live in, I think, one of the most beautiful, there's no doubt about it, British Columbia is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And everybody wants to come here. And that's why all of our communities and businesses are doing so well too. A big part of it is that people want to live here. People want to come here. Other countries see this place and they love it. And I love it. And so it's easier to sell too when I love Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows. That's my predominant areas that I work in and I live in. And when you love where you live, it's easier to sell it to people. And so anyway, I wake up every morning, I go for a hike. I'll go to Cliff Park or Golden Ears Park. I haven't been able to go to Golden Ears Park or Raleigh Lake there's lots of different great places to go. And I put headphones on and I listen to an audiobook. And that's something new for me in the last year too, that I have to tell anybody that listen, if there's one thing I can tell you, I know that you read everywhere, the most successful people in the world read books or listen to books. It is amazing. I've learned so much in the last 6 months, and in the last couple months too, with this COVID-19 thing. I've listened to even more books and read more books, and right now I've been listening to, and I listen to them over and over again. And Robin Sharma. I don't know if you're familiar with Robin Sharma. If you want to start reading something or listening to something that's just going to be positive for you and give you some great views on life, Robin Sharma, The Greatness Guide or The Greatness Guide 2. I listen to that. When I get home, I have breakfast. Another one that I'm listening to right now is David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. You know that? You know that book?
I've listened to it like 5 times. My number one book.
Buddy, it's unbelievable. that David, that whenever
insane.
I'm hiking or exercising and I feel like a sore knee, or maybe I'm getting a bit of a cramp or whatever, and you won't know this until you've Sean and I have both listened to it. Just David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Listen to it. If you ever think that you're it's having a tough day or whatever, if you listen to that, you'll think, wow, I'm such a wimp. I need to get going here. And so the guy ran on broken legs. So yeah, I'll listen to one of those books and I usually get inspired and I'll think about things and I start planning out my day. And that time when I'm out in nature and I'm looking around the forest, I was sitting at Cliff Falls just a couple weeks ago and I'm looking at the water running by me and I'm listening to my audio book and then I'm like, I turn around, look behind me, and I'm like, there's a whole other forest and everything around me. And I'm like, I just really get an opportunity to really think about things and plan out what I'm doing and just kind of refresh. I don't know what it is, but being out in nature is totally for me. And I mean, I know it's not everybody's thing, but for me, that's where I really get ideas on my business and marketing. I really like marketing. So that's one of the ways I get that. So anyway, so I go home, I have breakfast, and then from then I've been heading into my home office where I lock the door and try and keep my family out, which has been almost mission impossible. They've made me a sign to like working with a danger thing on the front or whatever that I'm to put on the outside of the door. And the other morning I had my oldest son come in. He's just getting ready. He's going off on deployment for the Canadian Forces. As he comes in, he's looking for something. And I'm like, dude, sorry. And then my 14-year-old son, he's a boxer too, Sean, actually. And he comes in and I'm like, what? And then my wife comes in, who made me the sign. And I said, babe, really? I'm working. She's like, oh, well, put your sign up. And I'm like, sign's up. She's like, well, lock the door. I'm like, all right. So it's tough. As we all know, it's pretty tough work. If you got family, it's pretty tough working from home in these times, but I do love it. I've got to spend way more time with my kids, but I'm also happy to be in my nice quiet office and no one disturbing me. And then I guess the number one thing that I do is real estate's funny. Is that one of those businesses where you can go into work and I'll have nothing on my calendar that day and it'll be the busiest day I've had in months. And then I'll go in another day where I got a full day and everybody cancels and you're like, oh, I got nothing to do today. So there's always something to do, but it's funny, your day that you think is going to be kind of a day off could end up being your busiest day. You never know in real estate because you're at other people's beck and calls, the reality, and you got to put them first. So that's kind of, every day is different and I don't mind, I'll work till whatever. I've done deals at midnight. I've done, you kind of just go with where the day takes you. As far as having a set marketing plan, now fortunately I have some marketing stuff set up for us, my partner Jeff and I. We have our own, we have a marketing plan and budget that we work within on what's important to us. We really focus on the hockey community in our area. We both play hockey. We both coach hockey. Our kids both play hockey. Like both of our sons play hockey. So, that's kind of an easy one for us. And the hockey community is a great, tight, loyal community. And, but there's not really, I don't really have any set things that I'll do in a day because every day is different. But the one thing that I can tell any realtor that makes you money is get on the phone, right? That's the key. If you want to sit here and wait and send emails, and that's like the flyering to me. If you want to flyer and wait for calls and send emails, that's a real easy, doesn't take much to just go do that. If you want to be successful, you need to talk to people. You need to actually contact them somehow and have a conversation if you want to be successful. That's my opinion anyway.
So if you have like a slow day, let's say you got nothing booked for cast today,
Mhm.
Do you pick up the phone? And if you do, who are you calling in general? Like, are you calling your
Well,
past?
so luckily, good question. Luckily for me, I think I've got between here and my file at home, I've got about maybe 100 people that I can call, that I find sometimes they're waiting for me to call to do a deal, because I got a file right here. I could call the guy. I bet you if I said, "Hey buddy, things are heating up, let's get your house on the market," he will. And so I could go through that list first. But when I was a new realtor, I didn't have that list. So what I did originally, I took a couple, what I thought was really good courses on starting out business for real estate. And what they had said was, call when you first start, and I tell this to all new realtors that I get a chance to meet with too, is call everybody you know. Tell them you're in real estate. Follow that up with a text. Just 15 minutes later, send them a text. "Hey, here's my contact card on my phone. Keep me in mind if you have any real estate stuff." And then follow it up with just a handwritten card to so-and-so, whatever. Ask them when you're on that call, can you put them on your client list or mailing list or whatever? And then follow up with a card with your business card in it, send it out to them. So you touch them in 3 ways. You got to think that week. If they run into somebody in that week that's looking for real estate, Cass, I'll call Cass. They want to help you. People want to help you. And or some people that, my sister's a realtor or my dad's a realtor or whatever. Some people already have somebody, but that, I think, just talking to people. If you don't have any business, call the people that you know first. That's the first thing you do. If you have the business, touch those people that you do know and that are, like I said, I'm fortunate that I've got a bunch of people that I know right now I could call, and that would probably start the process. And then I could probably make a real good living just waiting for the phone to ring now, because I'm established, but that's not my style anyway. I want to be better and bigger and grow, and I'm not where I want to be yet, that's for sure. And you've had some amazing, just being in this group of this showcase thing that you're doing is like an honor for me, because I looked at the names that are on there and I'm like, wow, these are big deal agents, and so pretty cool that I'm doing this morning, that's for sure. Thank you.
Well, man, at the end of the day, you're a big deal as well. Like I said, there's only one rookie of the year, and a lot of these people that we've had on before, they've been in the business for a long time, leverage the different styles of everything, right? But most of them, actually all of them, none of them had an amazing start like you did. So I think that's important in retrospect for even like guys like myself and a lot of agents that are even doing well. It's to be able to think like you can always go back to that first year rookie status type thing. And what I try to keep in my mentality is every year I'm a rookie. So I'm trying to do better than the last year and trying to better that style. And hearing this kind of story is awesome. Okay, so I know you got to go soon. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions that we got asked lots. We covered the cold calling in that particular time. So what is the main, if I'm to list my house, right? What is the differentiating factor between you guys and the rest? What makes you better than your competition?
I would say marketing. I think that probably nobody does as much as we do. This is when I was an office Coldwell banker when I first started in the business, and then I think 2 years in, second year, we left and we came to Royal LePage Brookside Realty Maple Ridge, and the big part of the reason why we did that was Royal LePage was the number one office in Maple Ridge. It had the most people that were in the president's club of the real estate board working in the office. It had the most agents. It was doing the most deals. And there's lots of great realtors out here. Don't get me wrong, Ron Antelek, and we looked at Remax and Keller Williams. There's lots of great people and great offices, but we found that this Royal LePage Brookside it gave us the kiosks at the mall, right? Which is a connection to people, and people see the signs of the things. But so that added on to the fact that we do everything. We do in listing the home, we do the virtual tour, we have professional photographer, we have staging consultation, we do all the things, we do the flyers and the open houses, and whatever the clients want, we do it, and we do everything that they could ask for. We also have, like, our marketing is pretty bright and bold with we got like a pink. It's a two-man advantage. We're trying to soften the image a little bit by going with a pink sign and pink in all of our advertising and things. And
And the
so,
beaver. Don't forget the beaver.
and the beaver, yeah, hat trick. For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, when we get hat trick out sometimes at listings in the, in the summertime, my poor kids, Jeff's poor kids, they get to wear that fur suit in the summer with a little tiny fan in the top. But yeah, we we just try and do more than what other people do. And our kind of motto or slogan or whatever is putting clients first. And so we try, and I think sometimes people lose the fact that realtors lose the fact that it's about your people, it's about your clients. And so, to help them and not, this is kind of a flashy, showy business. Our faces were very recognized in our industry. Our faces are on billboards, bus stops, signs. When I left the bar business and found out that you could I could list a house, I could put my sign in front of their house, and then I can put directional arrows everywhere, which I know there's communities have different rules on that now. But when I first started out, I got one listing, there'd be like 8 signs out. I put my stuff everywhere because I needed to make my people realize, oh, Cass has got something, he's busy. People would say, I see your signs everywhere. I'm like, I got one listing. But I made it look like I'm a big deal, and made it look like fake it till you make it, right? And so I was trying to just get that marketing out there, get as much as I could so that people would see my face, my signs, my colors. And it was funny because when I started in the business, I don't think there's anybody in town that put their picture on their signs. And now you can't find one without it. Even some of the old time Remax guys that just had the Remax board and went with exactly what the corporate sort of look would be, that all changed. And I'll take some credit for changing that because we plastered our faces everywhere.
That's actually one of the biggest regrets I ever have. I never plastered a couple signs back in the day, but never. And I think one of the biggest things is you're branding yourself, right? So when you walk into, Walmart or something like that, people are like, "Hey, it's Cass." They're instantly putting 1 and 2 together. So it's a no-brainer. It's something I think I'm just implementing right now. So it's funny that
good looking guy like you, Sean. You should put it in.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it. All right, so a couple other questions. So what has been your most, over the years, because I know a lot of people are wondering, and you even said yourself, marketing is probably what separates you from everybody else, right?
Right.
What has been some of your most fruitful marketing initiatives? So to give you an example, have bus benches worked for you? Or is it expired mail outs? Or what have you put money into that you've actually gotten the most results out of in the end?
And that is the $1 million question, buddy. That's it right there. What is the key? I don't know. I wish I could say, bus benches, or I wish I could say expired mailouts, or I wish I could say, cold call, phone calls, door knocking. I don't know. That's the thing about marketing, that it's so hard unless you have a different phone number on your stuff. You can't tell. I know that in the Yellow Pages years ago, for businesses, they'd give you different phone numbers. You could find out where stuff was coming from. And if it's actually coming from this, is it Real Estate Weekly? Is it your company that you work for? I don't know. I think, so what I thought when I started the business is that as much as I could afford within my budget, I was going to try and stretch that as much as I can to do as much as I can. And then I think it all ties in, whatever you're doing. So if you're a martial arts person like yourself, and you're going after that community, then putting your marketing in your martial arts things or whatever, that would make sense for you. And then that ties in with a bus bench they go by. For us, we have hockey rink boards, we have bus bench signs, obviously, I think if there's one thing that I would say that is the best marketing tool a realtor could use, it's your sign. It's your for sale sign. And, I think making it really stand out and using directionals and things, it's your cheapest and best marketing tool that you can use. All the other things that you pay for, you don't really know if it's, I've had people say they see my rink boards at Planet Ice on the Cam Neely Arena. Is that why they call me? I don't think so. It all kind of works together. It's what you're doing on your marketing on social media. It's your print advertising. It's your bus boards, hockey rink boards, flyers, everything. You have to make sure you keep everything, I think, uniform so that it all ties in. So they think of, oh, I saw Cass's Facebook ad, and then I saw his Instagram, and then they sold a place. And then I think people probably could care less when you sell a house. So I try and spin it a different way when I'm posting that, like, no, people don't necessarily care how we're doing. Oh, good. I hope Cass is doing great. The public, they don't, maybe they don't even love realtors that much. But if you just let everyone know that you're good at what you do and that you care about the people that you work for, and you keep all your stuff kind of the same sort of look, so that if they see one thing, they see another, you're kind of hitting them that way, right? I also say pens. Pens are great. This is one of our tools that we use the most right now. And do you use pens, Sean?
Yep. Stonehaus.
Yeah.
There.
Okay, there you go. This, every contract I write, I leave the pen. Every offer I write, I leave the pen. Like, by the end of the time when I sell someone's house, they're like, "We have your pens everywhere." I said, "Give them out." Yeah, that's
like that layered onion approach of, like, you pick an area, I guess, and that's another point, I guess, to bring up too. You really don't, or do you, advertise outside of Maple Ridge? It's basically Maple Ridge, maybe Pitt Meadows, maybe a little bit of Mission, I don't know. But do you try to keep all your mail outs and everything into an area so they see you multiple times? Is that mainly the goal? So they kind of see you everywhere, right?
for sure. No, yeah, it's mostly Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows. Yeah, we do most of our stuff here. We've thought about broadening out into other areas. We'll see. Like, as a realtor, you'll go out to, every realtor does this. It's funny, before you're a realtor, you'd never notice real estate for sale signs, barely. And as soon as you become a realtor, you're like, oh, right?
Totally.
So I think, I think targeting that certain area is best for you. If you spread it out too much, I don't think everyone's got something you're interested in, whether it be, sewing or crafts or whatever. There's business there. Whatever you do, there's business there. So get involved in your community and whatever things that it is that you do. And I work it also into my, like, walks. And I was telling you about my hikes and things like that I'm doing. Like, I'll print off a bunch of flyers and I'll go hit an area on a walk and take my dog and go in early in the morning, and then I'm not bugging anybody, and I just leave a flyer everywhere. And then I'll incorporate that into my walk. I walked and potentially got some business. I had one where my son and I did that. We went just flyering, because I had he was 12 at the time, and I had him with me, and we're just going for a walk, and I'm getting exercise. And we took a stack of flyers. The next day I got a call. I mean, it's a fluke when you get it. Next day I got a call. Someone wanted me to come list their house. And I'm like, Easton, buddy, we got business from yesterday. And he's like, whoa. So he I think it's important to bring your families into the business a little bit, even if it's just a little thing like flyering, which all my kids have had to do. And then I gave him, I don't know what, I gave him like a Subway gift card or an iTunes card or something like that for helping and succeeding. And so he got to feel that, that he was part of it. And so, there's definitely lots to this business. There's lots of different angles that it can go, and lots of different marketing and advertising that you can do.
Okay, so last question, because I know you got to run off to a client meeting here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
No rush is great.
So you mentioned earlier that, and this is one of the questions actually, both on my questions and somebody else's, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
You mentioned now that you're starting to pick up, your phone's blowing up. So I feel like, and correct me if you think differently, but I think we're kind of talking about that. Well, it looks like we're kind of exiting this whole COVID corona. Things are starting to heat up and pick up. During this time, have you been pretty active calling your clients? Like, what have you done have you been still marketing? Have you still been doing all these other things? Or do you think it's just the pent-up demand ready to rock?
Well, the first 2 weeks, I was every day at around 3 or 4 o'clock. My wife and I had a wine and cheese thing, played Uno, checkers, and chess, and got smashed every day for the first 2 weeks. So, and missed dinner type thing. Yeah. So those 2 weeks, no, I really did nothing. And looking back now, I kind of wish, and I did lots of stuff with my kids and stuff too. We just, we did like hikes and places where there was no one around. And I kind of wish I did more of that stuff with my family again. But that's one of my goals going forward too, is that I'm gonna look at things a little differently, and I'm gonna try and buy Canadian, and I'm gonna spend more time with my wife and kids, and so I'm gonna look at life differently going forward for sure. I didn't do a lot of follow up with people. The people that I was, that I had listings and things with, and all the stuff sold. Like all the good listings that we had during that period still was getting showings and things were still happening. But it was obviously a lot slower. I didn't reach out as a lot to people because I just thought this is a time maybe where I should just leave people alone and make sure that we get through this. That we still didn't know how serious that this was all going to be and how long it was going to last and stuff. So I didn't really do too much for the last, or for maybe a month in March. And then April, I started just connecting with people. Hey, what are you thinking? Let's keep in touch. Not pushing or anything. Just, hey, sometimes it doesn't have to be, hey, you want to sell your house? It can just be, hey, Sean, how you doing? Good. What's going on? What are you doing? Everybody okay at your place? And then the business will come. If you, the truth is that if you really care, you're a good person and you're looking out for your clients, the business will come once you're established. And so just connect with people, I guess, is my key to every business. Not just when I was in the bar business, it was the same thing. And I find the bar business was in many ways, very similar to real estate business. And you wind up, you really become friends with these people. You're kind of a psychologist. You wind up, you're in their living room. You're confident of theirs. That you're kind of got that, doctor or lawyer client privilege. You can't really go and telling everybody about their stuff. You're a bit of a psychologist, lawyer. We wear so many different hats, and then occasionally you're having a wine or a beer with them. Like you become friends with them. When you're done a real estate transaction with someone, if you're not friends with them and you really care about their well-being, then something's wrong, or maybe you're in the wrong business.
And it's funny that you mentioned that too, because even like Ryan Serhant, when we brought him down here, the one thing he says all the time too is like people don't want to go shopping with salespeople. They want to go shopping with friends, or they want to sell with friends or whatever, right? So rapport is one of the most important things, period, right? And I think that's something that you've kind of mastered over the time in all of your businesses that you've been in, right? So very cool. Okay. Sorry, I lied about the last one because this one just came up like literally 4 times. A quick question. For marketing, do you run everything yourself or do you outsource it to another company? Like, and I mean, you're not printing
it broadly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So no, we do it ourselves. Okay. And I guess probably not everybody can do that, but it's, marketing is something I've loved. It was my love in the bar business. I also liked building bars. Like I liked, doing the renovation and setting it up, and then seeing if people liked the same thing I liked, or my vision. And so with marketing, I've got a really good vision. My partner, Jeff, has a really good vision. We run everything by each other. We work together, and we'll have things where we've had some crazy ideas and done things. Well, maybe not. But I mean, that's where, I guess, if you're not on a team, if you're just a lone wolf sort of realtor, I guess it's just you and your husband or wife that are kind of figuring it out, right? But when you're on a team with the guy that was your buddy since you were 11 years old, you can have some fun. We have so much fun in the office and working in this business, and so many laughs. And he's my best friend, and so I'm very lucky. It's a very respectful relationship both ways, as respectful as a marriage, really. You gotta, that person, he worked harder than me this week, and he's a workaholic and I'm a workaholic, and so I don't want to let him work harder than me. And then you gotta help. We're together, we're partners. And so but no, we don't outsource any of our marketing. It's all done within, but I'm sure there is great marketing companies and social media and stuff. I know there's some great ones. They email me every day about that they could help with our business. I don't think that there's anything you can do that's bad. Like, I don't think that there's any road that you can go down that, for the most part, in marketing, that's isn't going to help you. It's all going to help. It's just you got to find the right one within your budget that works for you. And if you're lucky enough to have a partner that you can work things through together, then that's great too. And honestly, if anybody had any ideas that they needed help with or whatever, I'd be willing to help. I try and help as many realtors as I can. I find helping other people only makes you better and makes your business better and builds better relationships. There's nothing better than having a call from someone that saying I got an offer, and there's nothing better than doing a deal on somebody that you know them and you're like, okay, I know this guy, let's go do a deal. So I think sometimes we need to bind together more too, and work together, cooperate more as realtors and teams. Especially we're not a huge group in the Lower Mainland here, and we need to work together and help each other rather than try and bring each other down.
I find that too. The best realtors to work with are just those ones. They're not combative. They're not like, oh, no, my client, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, let's get the deal done for our clients. It's a win-win situation. Deal gets done, we get paid, everybody's happy, right? So.
Everybody's happy, yeah. You find so many times realtors that are trying to find problems. I'm like, dude, everybody just wants to make a deal here except for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
No. Yeah.
Makes no sense. All right. Yeah. So last reality check here. So first year in business, you did 40, 50, 60, how many, whatever deals it took to become rookie of the year, right? And this is mainly for the new agents and for a lot of us that maybe have phased sideways. How many hours a day did you work at that time? And do you work a lot? And I know obviously you have some days off and stuff, but are you working 6 hours a day or 14 hours a day, as we've heard in
I think when I started, I'd start at like 7, 8, 9. When I get up, 7 or 8 or 9, I'd start when I get up. And as you know, when you're a realtor, you're on. Like your day doesn't stop. So it's hard to distinguish when, like if I'm out, like most of my friends are also my clients and their friends become my clients. And so if I'm at the hockey rink coaching 15 kids on the ice, spending my time coaching kids, that's 15 families that I'm affecting, that I would say 90% of the time they'd call me if they had, or their friend or relative had real estate business, they would call me. So my life has kind of enveloped into the real estate business. I'm a realtor and I'm not like, I don't have anything on my car saying realtor. I don't wear realtor stuff, but people know I'm a realtor from what I do. And I'm not pushing it. Hey kids, make sure you tell your parents Cass McLeod's a realtor, Coach Cass, right? No, but I do that stuff because because I want to give back. But I guess I never stop working. So when do you say the off switch is on? When am I actually in the office working? I get in the office every morning and work till probably 2 or 3 every day for sure. So from 8:30 when I drop some of my kids off at school till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I'm at work in the office and actually working and on the phone and working with Jeff. And then, but as we all know, that can go into all different things. We could, somebody calls to list a house, boom, I'm gone. And then the evening I work as well. The afternoon I work. Like I don't ever not work. Like if you want to be a successful realtor, you just work. But I also incorporate family time, dinner. I try and always have dinner at home with my family. And the nice thing is too, is it gives us some freedom in this business. So I'm able to make all my daughter was a national fast pitch champion. I don't think I missed a tournament in her 8 years of playing fast pitch. I don't miss any of my son's hockey. My daughter's in dance now. I got a 5-year-old too, is my youngest. And so broad range. So I always work. When I first started the business, I guess I would work from 9 in the morning, and then I'd be doing mail out stuff in the evening till sometimes midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I think when you start, you really got to go kind of to the wall pretty hard for the first, you haven't made it till you're 2 years in, as far as I'm concerned. I remember a year and 3/4 in, I was rookie of the year, and I'm at the gas station using my credit card, wondering how much the limit was left on it because I already had an expensive life. And so it was very humbling. And then it just turned around that week. Boom. It was like things turned around about a year and 3/4 in. And people started calling me that they wanted to list their house. I'm like, what? You're calling me? Like, I thought I had to call everybody and beg them to give me a listing. And so I guess you get in what you put out. It's like anything in life. The more you put in, the more you get out. And so if you if you want to limit your day to 5-6 hours a day, and that's what you do for it, well, that's where you'll be. And the people I think that you find that are the go-getters of the world, I don't think you and Sean and Adam have some structured day. You like work till work's done. And sometimes that isn't done. And so it's late nights or whatever, but you just incorporate your life into it and your family and everything. And so if everybody's on the same page, they get to be part of it, they understand, and they get to succeed with it too. So that's a really long answer to really short question.
Thanks, brother. Thank you again for joining us today and giving us your wisdom. There's a lot of takeaways here. I think people are noticing the overall stream of everybody that we talk to is work your ass off, be consistent, making sure, and mostly everybody that we talk to started at the doors or the calls or whatever it is to build that business. So I appreciate you reiterating that portion as well and getting into the marketing side. Before that, just thank your son for his service. I admire everybody that's in the Army more than anything. So that's absolutely amazing. And that's a class act of yourself as well to raise an awesome son like that. So congratulations to that, brother. Thank you, everybody. This will be uploaded in the next week when everything's done. We're going to have some edits. And then tomorrow morning, if any of you are free, we have the longest training coach in the history of ever, Mike Ferry, on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. himself for an hour. Thank you again so much, Cass. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Just one last thing, please. Anybody that's watching, add me to Facebook if you're not on already. So let's all stay communicating.
Awesome. And Cass mentioned too, feel free to reach out to him. Don't bombard him, but feel free to reach out.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cass.